2.6a, rewriting equations with more than one variable. Rewriting equations with more than one variable may be done in a variety of ways. Normally, you follow the same steps as you would for solving an equation with a single variable. Commonly, the first step is to multiply all of the terms by a common denominator to remove all the fractions. Then solve in the usual way. Collect like terms, isolate the specific variable term on one side and everything else on the other. Finally, divide or undo the exponent so that the variable is alone. The final answer will be an equation that involves variables and possibly numbers. Example number 1. Solve for y. 2x plus 3y minus 9. So the first thing that was done is they subtracted 2x and added 9 so that y was on its own. So when you subtract 2x and add 9, you get 3y equals negative 2x plus 9. Then they divided both sides by 3. They then simplified. So negative 2x divided by 3 is negative 2/3 x, and then 9 divided by 3 is 3. Example number 2. Solve for r, v equals 4/3 pi r cubed. You will be seeing this formula later on in geometry. First thing that they did was they multiplied both sides by 3 to eliminate the fraction. 3 times v is 3v. 3 times 4/3 is 4 pi r cubed. The next thing that they did is they divided both sides by 4 pi. This gave them 3v over 4 pi on the left and r cubed on the right. However, we wanted r by itself, not r cubed. So the last step was to take the cubed root of both sides. That gave them the cubed root of 3v over 4 pi, and then the cubed root of 3 to the r to the third is just r. Now, the reason that we do that is we want r by itself, and we recognize that this looks a little strange, and that's okay. So for part A, we had negative 3x plus 5y equals negative 10, and they wanted you to solve for y. First, they added 3x to both sides to give you 5y equals 3x minus 10. Then they divided both sides by 5 and simplified. 3x divided by 5 is 3/5 x. Negative 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. For part B, y equals mx plus b, they wanted you to solve for x. So first, they subtracted b from both sides, so you have y minus b equals mx. Then they divided both sides by m, so you have y minus b over m equals x. For part C, we have a equals pi r squared, which is another equation you'll be seeing this year in geometry. In order to solve for r, first they divided both sides by pi, which gave you a over pi equals r squared. The next thing that they would need to do is take the square root. Let's take a look at some examples. For number 1, we have 2x minus 3y equals 9, and we want to solve for x. So the first thing we need to do is add 3y to both sides. This gives us 2x equals 3y plus 9. However, we want x, not 2x, so we divide everything by 2. The 2's cancel it out, giving me x by itself. 3y over 2 is just 3/2 y, and 9 over 2 we're going to leave as 9/2. You could also write 4.5, or you could write 4 1/2 if you prefer. For number 9, we have another formula that you'll be using a lot during geometry. A equals 1/2 height times the quantity b1 plus b2, and we're solving for b1. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of the fraction. So we multiply both sides by 2. That gives me 2a on the left, and height, or h in this case, times the quantity b1 plus b2. So the next thing we want to do is divide by h. So now we have 2a divided by h equals b1 plus b2. You then subtract b2 from both sides, giving you a final equation of 2a over h minus b2 equals b1. I hope that helps you remember how to solve each equation for a specified variable. Remember to go back and do problems 2 through 8 and 10 as part of your summer homework assignment. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at mbrenner@d131.org.